This is Greg Troutwine with Maritime Reporter TV. We're here at the SMM 2018 in Hamburg, Germany, and we're very pleased to be joined by Mr. Petersen, the Managing Director of Blohm+Voss. Mr. Petersen, first and foremost, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
The Blohm+Voss name is obviously well known in maritime circles, but can you just give us an overview of the business over the past 12 months and looking ahead, where do you see opportunities?
Well, yeah, if I look back last 12 months, just to summarize our main businesses, we had around 10 cruise liners in our yard. Just for example, off the top of my head, a few like we had 2 vessels from Fred Olsen Cruise Lines. If we look back into the history of Blohm+Voss, we are proud of serving this cruise line for more than 45 years with more than 100 successfully proceeded repair jobs. Another example is that we had from Hapag-Lloyd Cruises the Hanseatic in our yard, and in about 2 weeks we carried out the installation of a new ducktail for improving the stability of the vessel. And we had a Phoenix Rising Albatross cruise liner in our vessel for a refit. And what else? So yes, of course, we had one of our very good friends. They just recently the Europa in our dock, and we had the Brilliance of the Seas in a very short period of time with a very extensive scope of work from Royal Caribbean International. Okay. So these are some examples on cruise liners. And of course, in parallel, we always still focus on commercial ships, and from general cargo vessels to container freighters, we do a lot of different jobs. For example, beginning of the year, we had a batch of 4 Cap Sun vessels from Hamburg Süd, now owned by Maersk in our shipyard. And currently we have from Maritime Carriers Shipping the Green Mountain in our yard to do first glass docking and installing a Becker Mavis duct. So these are some examples of what we did in the last 12 months. And you asked looking forward. So of course we continue to work hard to win more business in this repair, conversion, and what we call ship services business. But at the same time, now being part of the Lürsen Group, we are very glad and proud to act as the what we call competence center for mega yacht or super yacht refitting.
The cruise business today. Can you just expand, I guess, a bit on your relationship with the cruise industry, which from where I sit seems to be very strong?
So indeed, you're right. The whole cruise business is currently very hot in terms of new ship building. So there is a long queue. We as Blohm+Voss and as part of the Lürsen Group, we do not do the new builds of cruise liners. But if the regular shipyards doing the new build and in parallel doing some refits are very busy, then maybe there are more opportunities for the others just focusing on the refits and repairs. So we have very long relationships to a lot of cruise line companies to work with them together. Yes, we see at the horizon or just in the queue, we see a lot of interesting projects because on one hand side, cruise line capacity needs to increase. On the other side, that takes time. And other ships will be refitted to be more modern, or even lengthening projects are currently in discussion, and these things.
Obviously, you've seen shipbuilding and repair emigrating from traditional Europe strongholds to the Far East. What do you count as your secret to success of running an efficient, profitable ship repair business in Germany?
At first, I would say, without any doubt, the emigration of the commercial shipbuilding to Far East was a major blow to the European shipbuilding industry. And a phase of consolidation and a lot of changes followed. Talking about Blohm+Voss, we just recently, end of 2016, got a new owner, being part of the Lürsen Group now. And with this new owner, we invested significantly to modernize our shipyard. People who know Blohm+Voss from the last, let's say, 100 to 140 years know that we had a lot of more historic buildings, old facilities, and in terms of efficiency, no matter if talking about turn times or talking about cost efficiency, there was a lot of room for improvement. We took the chance. We invested a lot in better material flow, in modern facilities, investing in new machines, like a new plasma cutting machine, for example. And at the same time, yes, we had a painful period of restructuring, a redundancy program, but we feel we are now fit, combining all these measures to work in a more specialized, I wouldn't call it niche, but a more specialized area where we focus on to be competitive.
Every job has its challenges. When you look at your job, what do you count as your number one challenge?
Yeah. To be honest, I only joined Blohm+Voss beginning of the year, so I'm still the new kid on the block.
Yeah.
But I personally would try to split your question into two answers. One is I call it my internal challenge. Due to all the changes within the company over the last, let's say, 18 to 24 months, I personally still work on changing the mindset of the employees that the majority will follow our new path with efficiency, competitiveness, and what we need, what we think, and what we know, what we need to fulfill the customer requirements. Second real challenge, what I personally work on, is that looking at the market, we fight for each individual market opportunity to convince the customers to go to Hamburg, even knowing that Hamburg is not a real low-cost location, but serving what customers say to me is the reputation of Blohm+Voss, really complex projects in time, in budget, with a very good program management, project management. This is what we try to sell to convince our customers to come back to Blohm+Voss. We are back.
Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate your time.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
This is Craig Troutwine with Maritime Reporter TV.